Hi guys, and welcome to Turf Moor House TV. Thank you for tuning in. Obviously, Sunday's game just was not meant to be. Big heavy snowfall just came out of nowhere, and I don't know what Spurs fans are whinging about because undersoil heating. Well, I'm sure we'll get into it in a little moment. Thank you if you are new around here for tuning in. Please do. It does mean a lot. As I say, we are at Turf Moor House, and as you can see just there, we are on social media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. And as you can see just down there, we will also be on podcast platforms. That's where all you have to do is search Turf Moor House on all major podcast platforms, such as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. So, without further ado, thank you for tuning into the show. Please do, as always, get your comments in, drop a like on the video, and subscribe if you're new. But we are here for the Burnley Wolves game. As I said, the game against Spurs was called off. We will touch on that. But to begin with, I just want to say, obviously, first of all, that our thoughts are with go out basically to the family, friends, and former clubs of Ray Kennedy, who's died today, age 70. He won 17 caps for England between 1976 and 1980, scoring 3 times. So our thoughts do go out to all those affected by the news. Obviously, we will touch on this, as you can see. Quite thick snow by the looks of things, and that's what got the match postponed against Spurs. Now, there's been a lot of flack and a lot of shit pretty much been put on social media about this, and people saying, "Oh, the undersoil heating. Did you even have it on? What about a cover?" Yeah, we get all that. What about a cover? What about a cover? Are you going to put a cover on a pitch with undersoil heating and then try and remove 7.5 blaming inches of snow off it? I don't think so. I really don't think so. In regards to undersoil heating, I couldn't have put this better myself, and I saw this tweet earlier by Watford's groundsmen, and they've said they've seen a lot of bad press on the Burnley game being postponed. Just to clarify, this was Vicarage Road this morning. Undersoil heating has been on for the last 3 weeks. As he says, the heating only stops the ground from freezing. The grass will still freeze and the snow will still settle. Now, as you can see, going back to that image, that snow was falling thick and fast. Up where I live in Burnley, it was coming down in heat loads. It just really was. And I can understand why the game was called off. It wasn't just the pitch, it was the surrounding areas, people getting to and from. So I do understand that. Big, massive shout out, though, to our chairman, Alan Pace, who got stuck in, got doing the dirty work, and was helping try to shift the snow from the pitch to try and get us. Try and get the game on, basically. Over 50 volunteers just basically helping out, try and get the game on. And it just wasn't meant to be. As soon as you cleared half the pitch, it's back again by the time you cleared the other half. It was quite torrential. But other than that, as I say, we are at over 200 and odd subs now, and this is what is potentially going to come. So last night I had this crazy idea, thinking, let's get to 300 subs. What can I do if we get to 300 subs? And if we do get to 300 subs, then as you can see, I will do the one chip challenge. We will go live and do the one chip challenge. I don't know why I'm doing this, but why not? I'll throw myself into it. I'm shit with spice, so I really don't know. I just don't know why. As we have said, we are here for the Wolves preview, and without a shadow of a doubt, without a murmur of hope, we have got Scott from Sweet and Sour Soccer. I mean, how are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm all good. I'm looking forward to you reaching 300 subs to do that, to be honest, because from what I've seen of videos of people attempting it doesn't end well, does it?
No. I've seen how much milk people go through, ice cream, the fact that they're hiccuping, being sick. And I'm there thinking, should I do that? Why? Why not? I mean, let's mix it up a bit from just football content. So before we obviously get in regards to yourself, I will just take a look at some of the comments. First of all, we've got Mike Green, who says, "Evening, hope you're well, Mike. Thank you for tuning in." He says, "Favourite streamer is finally live." Who? I mean, I'm live at the same time, so Fair play, mate. The missus says hey, which is always nice because
I
she
love the
doesn't talk to me
support.
around the house. She doesn't talk to me around the house, so she only does it on here. Rich from Eagle Eye Football also says, Dan, big up to yourself, mate. Big up to yourself. And as he says, how the F can people blame Burnley for a natural occurrence? It is true. Mike says, let's make 79 more accounts. I hope not. Please don't. Please don't just go making random accounts. It will be good though. I was going to set a challenge. Do I try and get the 300 before Christmas or wait till the end of the season? I think I'm just going to leave it open.
See
Leave it
what
open.
happens.
Yeah, let the madness begin. If it's done before Christmas, I'll try and get it done over Christmas. I'll try and go live Boxing Day, something like that, if we can get it on.
Nice way to ruin Boxing Day for you.
Oh, Lord. I might actually do it outside the turf prior to the Burnley Everton game if they get to 300 subs. I'll make sure there's a pub not too far away. The missus says, Alan Pearce is a legend and will do wonders for our club. Just goes to show the passion he has for the club. You wouldn't see many other owners getting stuck in with the cleaning snow off the club. No, he's probably had to get rid of a fair bit of shit since he's come through the door, to be fair. So clearing snow probably wasn't that much of a problem. And Rich says, I have to see you eat that chip. Share. So thank you very much. Scott, obviously you've got back from work. You run a channel with your mate is it Indonesia he's living out in?
Yeah, he lives in Indonesia.
Yeah.
James does. Yeah, has done for a number of years. Yeah.
So first of all, obviously, how are you doing? What have you been up to? And give a plug to your channel.
Yeah, well, I'm all good at the moment. Just been up to mainly doing work and setting up Christmas, as we spoke about just before actually going live. We've brought the wrong tree, we've brought the wrong lights, so yeah, got that to sort out after this, but it's all good. And yeah, our channel that I run with my mate James, who we've mentioned, Sweet and Sour Soccer. We are a neutral channel. We do a bit of Wolves content at the weekends, just match reactions and stuff, but in general, if you head over there, we are a general channel, and our latest video was ranking every Premier League badge in a tier list, so that came out about an hour and a half ago.
Oh, so guys, please do head on over to Sweet and Sour Soccer to check that out, to see what thoughts there is on there. I'm definitely interested to see what thoughts are on Burnley's badge, because
I'm trying to remember what we said about Burnley. Yeah.
Hey mate, save it. I'll get them watch hours up. Don't you worry. I'll go and check it out. Max says, yes, I'm good, pal. Doing a revamp of my channel. If you can check it out after, will be class. No problem. I will have a look at it as soon as we come off air. And Tom Scott says, be interesting against Wolves. We usually give them a good game, but for me, who do we play instead of Westwood? Or do we bring Dwight into the centre and Corney out wide with J-Rod supporting Wood? We will touch on that later, Tom. We will touch on that later. So, first of all, I mean, how do you think what's your thoughts on the season so far? How do you think Wolves have performed?
Yeah, I mean, I'm loving it, to be fair. Obviously we've had a new manager come in. He's playing more attacking football, despite still playing a back five. We're currently sitting 6th in the Premier League. Interesting one, isn't it, at the moment, with how the Premier League tables are looking. That can change within the space of a couple of games. But to be honest, I said, as long as we're within the mix of mid-table, I'd class it as a good season. And just to have Jimenez back playing at his best, I think that's already a win for this season. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy with how we've been playing so far. There's been a bit of a mixed bag, which I think will give you guys some hope, because we have been a bit on and off. We sometimes have an absolutely amazing game, and then the next game we'll do what we did against Norwich and just not show up. So there is definitely some hope for Burnley, for the Burnley fans. But yeah, so far can't complain. It's been a very good season.
Happy days. I mean, a lot of people looking from the outside looking in probably thought once Nuno went, that's the span out of Wolves gone. And, I pretty much felt for Wolves, thinking, shit, this is where Wolves could potentially crumble. So it was a make or break situation when Nuno left, looking from the outside looking in. But is it Bruno Larga? Is it said like that?
Bruno Large. It's I think it's pronounced Large.
But yeah, I mean, what a phenomenal job he's done since coming in.
He has, and I think he's the way he's been looking to play as well is what's something that's really changed. We're playing one touch, two touch football, moving the ball much quicker. And yeah, I think although people from the outside might have thought that it was a disaster, Nuno leaving, I think it came at the right time, because certainly for us, he'd ran out of ideas.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people obviously when he left were questioning his move to Spurs. I mean, you could always see him and his credentials that he's got, that he was, it was going to go on to something better at some point. But I think it was just a bit too soon at that time. I think he was still adapting and learning at Wolves, and it didn't help him the fact that he was third, fourth choice for the Spurs job anyway.
Yeah.
So it was definitely one of them. The one that got me is, though, obviously when your manager came in, I was a bit like, to be fair, I didn't know much about him. And I was a bit like, is this a bit of one of those sort of left field moves?
I think it was an interesting one, to be honest. I think it was something that they perhaps scouted for. They had the way that they wanted to play football. Probably too many won't remember. He was the assistant manager at Swansea some time ago. He then went across to the Portuguese league, picked up his trade there, did really well. And then he kind of had quite a long time off, literally just to study the game and figure out his identity. Still quite a young manager, but so far it's working out perfectly, really.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, thoughts on Raul Jimenez's season so far? Obviously, he's come back from injury. It's quite difficult when it's the injury that had obviously occurred to him as well, with it being a head injury. I can understand with, the likes of Petr Cech, he had that flaming like turtle helmet on. That's different. I suppose in a way it's a bit different. But when you're a striker that's pretty much getting balls pumped into the box and things like that, it must be a lot harder to adapt. So how do you think he's come on since the injury?
Well, he's wearing his protective head thing, which protects him, from future injury to his head, which is all good. From what the doctors have said, that's more of a precaution than it actually being, needed, really. It's just that added protection. But yeah, with Jimenez, I think it was a bit of a slow start, which you'd expect after a year out. But since then, he's just really at his best now, and he's contributing really well. It's going to be a talking topic, isn't it?
It is. I don't know why I did it. It were about 1 o'clock this morning. 1 o'clock this morning, I just thought, oh my God, why don't I do the one chip challenge if I get to 300? And yeah, now it's going to be, that's it. It's until I get to 300, and then that's all I'm going to get bombarded. When you're doing that video, let me know when you're doing that video. That's all it's going to be. But for people listening on the podcast, the missus has said she's looking forward to seeing me in pain when I eat that chip. She's really not. All I'm going to say is let's save up some money, because we are going to need a lot of toilet roll and a lot of space in the freezer for it. So keep in mind, definitely. Get your chip down, Danny boy. Plenty of chips go down this fat lad. Don't you worry about it, Mike. Who's been your key players then this season? Obviously, I know we've just touched on Raul Jimenez. I mean, under Nuno, Ruben Neves was always sort of a big hitter. How do you think his season's been so far?
It's been brilliant, actually. If you had to name our best player, it would definitely be Neves. I think people kind of remember him from his championship days, his brilliant goals that he'd be scoring. But I think his role's now matured a bit as he's got older. He's not playing quite as forward as a role, which means you don't see him in those perhaps attacking positions to take on those strikes so often. And it has been the one part of his game that has died down a bit. But what you will see now is a really good range of passing. He dictates the game, and he dictates the midfield in general, to be honest. So, I think he's been our one standout player. If I had to pick one player, it would definitely be Neves. And I think obviously he's not playing the game tomorrow. Unfortunately, he's picked up too many yellow cards. So another massive boost for Burnley. And we're probably going to see Dendoncker and Moutinho in as a 2, which is a bit of it's a duo which we've not really seen. So it's going to be interesting to see how they adapt together.
No, that's fair shout. Tom's just said we need to be careful against Wolves, as they are close to being a class side, which I totally agree. I do totally agree. but as a Midlands claret who's been to the Custard Bowl recently, the night matches are brilliant at Wolves with the light shows. Anyway, I'm going to shut up and come on Woody Hat-trick again. Yes, Tom. Yes, Tom. I would take that. I would take that. The missus says that's the worst part of seeing you in pain, the shit that comes with it, literally. So, yeah, obviously, talking of suspensions, we've got Ashley Westwood and James Tarkowski out, basically our key midfielder and our key defender. Do you think you can utilise that tomorrow?
I think it will help us. It will definitely help us in that, what I've just spoke about our nerves with Neves. I think not having to worry about Westwood. Well, perhaps, it's going to be an interesting one that we're both going to have our star midfielder, if you will, out. You're also looking at the fact of defensively. I think whoever has to, be on Jimenez is going to be an interesting battle with because I think Tarkowski would have been the one to handle him. So I think we definitely take some satisfaction in that, to be honest. But it's going to be an interesting one. I mean, obviously, Tom talked about last time we played you, it was obviously 4-0. I don't think we typically usually do well against Burnley, and of course Chris Wood as well.
No, that's a fair shout. That is a fair shout. I was looking back at some of our former matches, to be fair, and there were just ones that stood out to me, like the 1-0 win at Molineux when Gareth O'Connor scored a free kick that was like hard and low, but it curled around the wall.
Yeah.
Just these games like that just sometimes just etch in your mind. I mean, I look at some of the players that have played for both of our clubs as well. You've got the likes of Fleming, John Pender, which we'll talk about shortly, as with his condition recently and things like that. Dash, obviously, not Dash. Sorry, that Dash for Watford. Ignore me. I can't remember. I think Akinbaye was who I was thinking of. How can I get Akinbaye and Dash mixed up? Yeah, Sam Vokes obviously had gone round the mill in terms of loan moves. Michael Cartley, as well. So we sort of became a bit like a Wolves B team, getting all the shit that you decided, they're not good for Wolves anymore. But they seem to have worked for Burnley and Burnley's level. So just looking back, Statman Stubbs, now then, mate, hope you are well. I am well. For anybody here, I will be on Steve Stubbs' football channel at 9 o'clock. So do catch me over there. Catch me outside. How about that? Tom has also said the Wolves guy will mention the Shape of Hand Trophy win soon. Why not?
I wasn't going to, but since Tom mentioned it. No, I mean, look, you guys have you've had the better of the last game, didn't you? Obviously not the Sherpa Vans. I'm on about the most recent Premier League battle, so I won't shout about anything too loudly.
Yeah, I mean, Akinbaye, what a player he was in his heyday. Michael Cartley did a lot as well at your place. I mean, both players were key players for both clubs at that pivotal time. I mean, there's a bit of a quiz coming up later. Just a couple of questions. No, like thinking needs to be involved, to be fair. So don't worry yourself. It's not going to hurt your head that much. But yeah, one player I want to talk about in particular, obviously, is this man, John Pender, who obviously played for both clubs, made over 100 appearances for both clubs as well, and obviously, sadly, has been diagnosed with motor neuron disease. Now, to be honest, I was only young when John Pender were playing for Burnley, to be fair, in 97, or probably about 5-6 year old. So I don't remember it vaguely because I was at that stage where at that time I wasn't that mad about football, if you get me. But I always knew that it were there. I mean, not just that he played for Burnley, he obviously captained Burnley as well. The only one of two captains to have captained Burnley in 2 promotions. Other than that was Martin Dobson. But I mean, what a player for both clubs. And obviously, for what's happened to him is clearly he's very tragic.
Yeah, definitely. And as you say, I think I'm in a similar position that it was probably a little bit before my time, but obviously hearing the news, it's a very, very sad news, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. So I won't keep you for long because obviously I understand you've got Christmas tree dilemmas galore to get sorted. And to be honest, everybody wants it all to be nicely set up so that when you come down in that morning in your Christmas pajamas, you open that first day of your Advent and then realise, why am I still doing this? I'm 30-year-old. But yeah, Mark says, Sam Vokes, what a man. The Welsh Haaland.
I mean, he did well for us, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think he went on to you, didn't he? He went on to you after and did well.
Yeah, he came to us on loan and then we signed him permanently, and then
That was it.
the rest were history. Yeah. He was such an unsung hero as well, because no matter who he played alongside, he had the likes of Charlie Austin, he's had the likes of Danny Ings and Andre Gray that, Burnley sold on at the right times in their careers. But yeah, what a player, some pivotal goals. Yeah, moving on to that, we will move on to the next section. I say the next section. First and foremost, who do you pick out as a threat for tomorrow's game from Burnley's side?
I mean, one man springs to mind, doesn't it, with Burnley and Wolves? That's Mr. Chris Woods. I think he's one of the most underrated players in the Prem, actually. I think what he does for you guys, I think it'd be probably fair to say that he has saved you from relegation at some points with his goals. Always I think he scored over 10 goals for the last 5 seasons now, and he seems to love a goal against us as well. So, yeah, very fearful of him. I'm hoping Max Kilman, who's really come and been such a pivotal defender for us under the large era, keeps tabs with him. And hopefully he can stick on him man to man, because if he manages to get on the shoulder of Cody or Saiss, who are much smaller defenders, I think he's going to be a player to watch out for. And also Cornet as well, who, isn't your typical grain of Burnley player, is he? But he's doing well. And I think it's probably nice for a Burnley, for Burnley fans' point of view, to see a player with a bit of pace and trickery to him.
Yeah, massively. As I've said numerous times on the channel, on other people's channels, for Burnley to have a player like that is massive, because we've been used to seeing 11 stiff idiots on a pitch sometimes that don't run about, that can be quite robotic, and it can be hard to watch. But when you've got that one player in your team that knows where the space is, knows to run into the channel, even though Burnley might go, we're not used to this. And they play it thinking, what's this all about? And something comes from it. It's almost like, wow. I mean, so far the goals he's scored have been so phenomenal. He's got pretty much a goal of the season, 4 contenders for goal of the season on his own. So he is really good. Dwight McNeil, another one. I think with Maxwell Cornet as well coming in, it's took the shine away from Dwight McNeil, but in a good sense. It doesn't mean that everybody's going, the focus is on Dwight McNeil, It now lets him sort of play his natural game, instead of it being a case of Dwight McNeil's your main threat. Without him whipping the ball in, that's it, you're nullified. So it gives him a bit of a playing run. For me, what worries me is your backline, to be honest. Your backline worries me the most. I think, depending on how we play, I think we now like to get the ball down on the pitch and play a bit of football, which is something we are definitely not used to seeing. So it is always nice for that to happen. But yeah, your back four getting at us when we've got a few people down. It's going to be hard. I am looking forward to seeing, obviously, Nathan Collins come in for James Tarkowski. He'll be pretty decent. So we will see about that. Tom has said, cheers to the Wolves guy. He's called Scott, but yeah, Wolves guy will do, I suppose. Seems a top football fan. Hope I don't bump into him while undercover in the North Bank tomorrow on a cheap ticket.
He'll be all right. I sit in the South Bank, so complete opposite ends. And I said to you, didn't I, Dad, I'm going to probably be in a bit of a rush to even get to the game with the time of it.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to make for a good one, though. Midweek, as Tom stated earlier, under the lights at Molineux. You've got a bit of a fancy light show that you like to put on when it comes.
It used to be a fireworks show until it actually fired into someone, and lights.
Hey, why not? Yeah. Why not? But obviously, from one light show to another, because I know you've got your own light show to put on, we will get into this.
the
So,
predictions.
yes, first of all, give us your predicted lineup for Wolves. I mean, if you was to be appointed Wolves manager today and told you've got to take charge of the team tomorrow, who would you be putting out against that Burnley side?
Well, I think we still go for a back five at the moment because we haven't been adapted to what Bruno Lage wants. I think he wants a back four, but we haven't got the players to play that role. So I think you'll see Jose Sarr in goal, who's been an absolute revelation. We were worried when Patricio went to Roma. In fact, we've probably found a better and younger keeper for the exact same price we sold Patricio for, which has been a massive bonus. You'll see Ait-Nouri, I think, at left wing back. You'll probably see Kilman, Cody, Seiss, and Semedo, which kind of writes the back five itself. I spoke about Ruben Neves obviously being out, which means we'll see probably Dendoncker and Martinho with a young lad, Luke Kundle, who will be on the bench. He won't make the starting lineup, but he'll be on the bench, and it'll be interesting to see if he gets some game time if that duo doesn't work out. And then it comes to the front line, which is the big question. Jimenez, I think, will definitely play as the striker, but I think what you'll see is with Daniel Podence out, there's a bit of question who gets a nod. I mean, Hwang, who's come on loan, Hwang Hee-chan, has been superb at times, but also had games where he's been really off the ball, especially in the last couple of games. But I think he will get the nod. And then it's going to be the question of whether he plays Trincao or whether we could see a start for Adama Traore. I think obviously with us playing at the weekend, it wouldn't, and obviously both weekends, both sides, it wouldn't surprise me to see Adama Traore get back into the team and be given a chance. But there is questions around him not signing a new contract and also possibly being linked to a move away in January. So I do think maybe Traore will be given a nod, but it doesn't surprise me if Trincao also got the nod yet again.
No, fair shout, fair shout. I mean, I think everybody hates playing against the Adama Traore, to be honest. You just oil him up and let him run around. It's not fair. It's not fair.
I mean, people
Everybody
hate it,
hates
but
it.
there's no end product to him, which is why,
Yeah.
Mike's got. I mean, Wolves fans are really coming over to the idea now of just selling him, moving him on. He has a bit of an attitude problem as well, not signing a new deal. 18 months left in January. I think we've come accustomed to if the right bid comes in, move him on.
Why not? Why not? So to counteract that, I think Burnley will obviously stick with that 4-4-2, like good old Mark Bassett probably would. It'll be Pope in goal, Lawton at right back, Nathan Collins alongside Ben Mee. So I'm not too bothered about them back two, to be fair, because he's looked pretty solid when he's played. Left back, Charlie Taylor. Right midfield, I think he'll go with a similar team to what he was going to put out against Spurs. I think he'll go Goodmanson on the right, with Brownhill and Cork in the centre, McNeil on the left, and I think he'll play Cornet up front with Chris Wood. So I'll take that. I would take that. I definitely would take that. Mark says he's a bulk Dan James.
Not wrong. I don't see. There's just no end product with him, and if there was an end product, he'd be playing at Barcelona, not Wolves.
Yeah, definitely. So the big question, obviously, your score prediction. How do you think the game's going to go?
I've got a backers because we really need it after Norwich. The draw to Norwich at the weekend. We then face the easy task of Chelsea. We go to Liverpool. We've then got City. We've got a team in the middle of them who I can't remember, and then we've got Chelsea. So we've got really tough fixtures coming up. It is in fact Brighton. It's come back to me. So unfortunately, I've got to go for a Wolves win because more out of desperation than logic. Because we've got some horrible fixtures coming up. I think it's going to be a tough game. I really do, but I'm going to go for a 2-1 Wolves win.
Oh, not a bad shout. Not a bad shout. See, away from home, midweek, you'll take a point. You'd love a point, bring it home. I just can't look past us at the minute. I think the fact that we've been, rested again for a bit longer. The fact that we're on a 4-game unbeaten run. I know stats are there to be broken. Don't get me wrong. Of course they are. But it's one of those games that sort of scares me away. Midweek in Wolves, it's almost like It's definitely one that you don't touch on a football bet. Put it that way.
Well, it's not a beautiful place to be coming, is it?
It could be worse. It could be in Cannock or something like that. So it's not too bad. It's not too bad. So we'll do a little quiz called This or That.
This or that.
So first of all, Mark has said typical Burnley 0-0. Yeah, it won't surprise me. It won't surprise me. I'm going to go for a shithouse 1-0 win. I'm gonna call it. I'll take it. It's not going to be goals galore, not like it was before. I will take one of those scrappy 1-0 wins if it came.
Really would.
So with this or that, basically, I'm going to give you an option of two things, and you just say this or that, whichever one you prefer. So to start off with, home games or away games?
Home games.
Ooh, I think you're the first person that's gone home games, to be fair.
Yeah, I like the atmosphere at home, and it's hard to get tickets away from home with Wolves, so maybe that's why I'm a bit biased.
Nothing wrong with that. Netflix or YouTube?
Ooh. At the moment, YouTube, to be honest. I think Mr. Beast did a better version of Squid Game than the actual Squid Game. I don't know if you watched it, but I love that.
Yeah.
There's more variety on YouTube, and it helps you out. I have no shame in saying it's the first time of putting up Christmas lights for me, having moved out now. So, yeah, I'm sure I'll be using a YouTube video even for that.
So, what would you rather have? Would you rather have... I don't even know why I put this in. But if you was given the opportunity, to be fair, would you rather see first? This is what would you rather see first? Wolves win the Champions League or Wolves win the Premier League?
Premier League.
Has to be.
Yeah.
This one's a tough one. Raul Jimenez or Steve Bull?
I'll probably go with Jimenez. To be honest, now Steve Bull's a legend, but yeah, question. I don't know. There's been questions about and stories that have come out. Sort of like not saying he's a bad guy or anything, but maybe he's just not. He enjoys his royalty around Wolves quite a lot. I'll leave it at
that. Not wrong with that. Facebook or Twitter?
Twitter.
Yeah, I'm down for that. Ruben Neves or Paul Ince?
Paul Ince for me. I think, I think that's more from a personal, kind of personal likable. Neves is really likable, but Paul Ince for me was probably one of the first Wolves midfielders that I really looked at and thought, wow, this guy's something special.
Fair shout. Cats or dogs?
Oh, I don't have either, actually. We have two pet rabbits, but if I had to pick one, I'd probably go dogs. They're more friendly, aren't they?
Yeah, I'd say so. If you could replace any current Wolves player with a Burnley player, who would it be?
Adama Traore for Cornet.
Simples. That were quick, and you didn't even have to think of that. They were just like bang, done.
Even that size for Tarkowski wouldn't be a bad shout either. But yeah, I think at the moment the way that Adama's attitude is going, I quite like the look of Cornet.
Why not? If anyone's gonna tell Adama Traore, look, shut up, sit down, and get to work, it's probably Dash. So I'd take that. I would take that. This is the big question that I ask everybody, and I hope this isn't going to be 2 weeks in a row. But does pineapple belong on pizza?
Yes, it does. My go-to pizza is ham and pineapple. Love it.
Oh man, my eyes.
I knew I was going to let you down straight away when you said this has happened already once.
I don't know how anybody could stick that sweet piece of shit on a pizza. No.
Love it. Mike doesn't
Oh.
agree. Mike's saying, no, it does not. With a lot of O's after the N.
No.
Yeah,
But
that's
no,
it.
honestly, it's just no. You know what? Everybody else said no, but you and the Spurs fan both said it does, and you've both said
Oh,
it's your
no.
go-to as well. So
Oh, no. Having covered and covered with Spurs, that's never a good thing, is it?
definitely not. Definitely not. But yeah, that was this and that.
Enjoyed
I
that.
was going to say thanks for playing, but obviously I'm not no game show host. I'm a flaming little poxy YouTuber. But yeah, thanks for coming on. It's been an absolute blast. Obviously, you've got a large show to attend to. But other than that, again, thank you for giving us your time. Obviously, you've just come back from work and things, so I do really appreciate it. Again, let people know what you're doing and spread the love, spread your channel.
Brilliant. No, first, it's been a great laugh. Really enjoyed it. But yeah, our channel, say our channel because I run it with my mate James. It's called Sweet and Sour Soccer. You'll see a lot of Wolves content on there, but we keep that to the weekends. We'll think we're going to start bringing out a championship review. We'll go each week as well, but we also we just do some general content. So head over there, check it out. Probably our most recent stuff that we've been doing, which is a tier list Tuesday. I think that's something that really is for everyone. So maybe head over and check that one out.
Definitely. So everybody do go check Scott out and check the YouTube channel out, Sweet and Sour Soccer. The link is in the description. Also, just to touch on, which I did not mention, to be fair, I know we touched on John Pender earlier. There is a Just Giving page to help raise awareness for motor neuron disease. I know Lenny John Rose, another former Burnley player who has motor neuron disease as well, and is suffering quite badly now with it. But there is, as I say, a Just Giving link in the description of the video, as there is links to Scott's Sweet and Sour Soccer channel. So yeah, thanks again for coming on. It really does mean a lot. I'll let you head off and hit up the light show. And
Yes.
yeah, again, thanks for coming on. It means a lot.
No problem at all. It's been a pleasure, and yeah, hopefully we get the win, but I'm not confident.
I don't blame you. To be fair, I'm like that.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. So guys, that was it for this episode. What I will say is, again, I'm going to mention it again. I'm going to have to. I've got to. If I want to get there, I've got to mention it. So please do. Let's try and get to 300 subs, and I will attempt the one chip challenge. Don't know why, but I will. The comments are saying, just the missus, basically talking about Hawaiian pizza. Listen, love. No, just no, Kate. Let's not do that. Let's not talk about Hawaiian pizza.
Brilliant.
Wait till I go downstairs. I'm just gonna be like, really? Hawaiian on a pizza? Are you joking?
I love it. I love it.
But I don't know how anyone could do that. But yeah, as I say, 300 subs, and I will do the one chip challenge. Tomorrow, though, obviously, is the game between Wolves and Burnley, and it is live on Amazon Prime. Obviously, the kickoff is at 7:30, and we will be doing a live watch along for the game tomorrow. So do hit us up around 7:15. We will be going live with the team news, and obviously a watch along for the game. Fingers crossed for the win. Fingers crossed at the end of the game you're not seeing me crying. I am passionate. I'm like I can't say Northern Gaza. You couldn't get any Northern than Gaza from Newcastle. The missus says I've no taste, love. I could say something back to that, but I'm not going to, because it means that I'll be sleeping on the sofa. But no, thanks again, Scott. Really does mean a lot. People do go check out the channel. And again, good luck for the rest of the season. But obviously tomorrow, nah.
Yeah, same for you guys too. Hope you stay up. But no luck tomorrow.
Oh, cheap dig. Oh, he got me with it. So yeah, please do head on over. As I say, live watch along tomorrow. It should be a good game for the neutral. But thanks again, and we'll see you soon.
See ya.